The case market has been going absolutely insane recently. Number 5 on my list is going to be split. We've got the Snakebite and the Clutch case. I'm talking about the Clutch case. It's a staple of the unboxing market. It used to be the most unboxed case for a full year. Absolutely insane, but the truth about it is it's got a little bit of a higher supply. It's definitely got some pretty strong unboxing numbers to help back it up, and that supply has been decreasing at a pretty significant rate. It's got a little bit more of an expensive price point that I would like on it, but as with everything, it's a rare case, so that price point is probably going to keep on increasing rather than decreasing, especially in the long term. The other one's going to be the Snakebite case. Tied with it for the Clutch case, the Snakebite case is a little bit of an interesting situation. Specifically, it's got the cheapest price point you can get for a rare case, and nearly almost any case at this point. It's got a very high supply compared to the rest of the rare case market, but it's being unboxed at the fastest rate pretty much out of all the rare cases, so it is decreasing and it's going to be continuing on this trend. I definitely think if you got a little bit more of a smaller budget, Snakebite and Clutch are probably going to be your 1 and 2 just because you can't afford a ton of cases. You can either get one of these older, more expensive cases, or you could get maybe like 10 Snakebite cases, and that's honestly really hard to pass up considering the Snakebite is still in a pretty strong position nonetheless. If you're looking for the lowest fees on the market, Skin Vault is the perfect place for you with a free up to $10 on your first trade. They've got a massive deposit bonus to help you out if you're trying to buy some brand new skins, or one of the best prices you're going to be finding for an instant sell site, which is absolutely perfect. Plus, their fees for everything is nearly 50% cheaper than the competition, and your trades are going to be taking under 30 seconds right now. This is trusted by Nate King, but the truth is, use code MasterShiny, I'm just better, and it's going to be the lowest fee you can actually find if you're looking to trade your skins. Now, talking about the question I get asked the most, which is going to be the Gallery case. The Gallery case is definitely one that a lot of people have been picking up significant interest in, especially with everything we're seeing about the case market, because it is pretty much set in its price of around $80 to $1.10. It's going to be a very consistent investment a lot of people are wondering about. The truth is, the Gallery case has some very strong potential, but it's just that, potential. At this point, the Gallery case doesn't have too much going for it other than the fact that it's a relatively cheap case. Obviously, the potential of this case really rests on the fact of, is it going to get removed from the armory? Are we going to see a new case introduced into the armory? What is going to happen with the Gallery case? We don't obviously know, but if we want to look at the skins inside of it as well, there's going to be some pretty heavy unboxing demand for this case long term. The fact is, this case has a very limited supply, and the reds inside of it, along with the pinks and the purples, make up a significant value that we're looking at an 85% unboxing ROI. It's a very solid case long term, really depending on the fact of if and when it does get removed. That's when the real potential for investing is going to begin. Talking about the number 4 case on my list, it's got to be going to the CS20 case. Obviously, I'm not the biggest fan of the CS20 case, but when it comes down to the numbers, I really cannot deny this case is probably in a pretty solid position. First up, talking about the supply, we don't think the supply of the CS20 case is very large, and that offers some pretty significant investment opportunities if obviously this is the case. This is just an estimate, but if we want to talk about the demand for it, it's a little bit on the lower side. Obviously, it's the only case that has the classic knife, something of which people are really divided on if it being a good or bad thing for the case, but the truth is, it's got some other desirable skins inside of it, and overall, it's a relatively decent rounded case for the fact that it's a little bit more of a unique one. I definitely think this is a solid option, but it's not my favorite. Now, talking about the second most important question I get asked, active duty cases, should I be loading up on them? Absolutely not, in my personal opinion. If we want to talk about the active duty cases, they are at the highest price point we have seen in the history of CSGO or CS2 in their collective value. Nearly $1 on average is what these come out to, which is absolutely insane considering the peaks used to be at like 50-60 cents with the average around 20 maximum. I definitely think it's a very overinflated area just because of the rare case market being the way it is. I don't think it's necessarily going to drop in value significantly, but I don't think there's a much profit really left for potential in most of these cases unless you're really thinking they're going to be the one moved into the rare drop pool next, which in that case they're probably going to peak and collapse anyways, like we've seen with the previous couple cases that have done that. Number 3 on my list, we're going a little bit old school. We're going for the Revolver case. Now, the Revolver is one that I have adored for a couple different reasons. First up, it's the only chance you're going to have to get the OG knives at a roughly $3 price point at this point, which is absolutely crazy. But the biggest fact about it, people still love unboxing the Revolver case. I don't know why, but it's like one of the most unboxed older rare cases. We don't know the supply on it, unfortunately. That number's completely gone, but the truth is people are in heavy demand for this case, and they're going to continue to be. Those OG knives are still very desirable. The Revolver case has been consistently putting up strong unboxing numbers, and even as the price point has gone up, the Revolver case is one of the first to recover in periods of downturn. Overall, people love the Revolver case, they love unboxing it, and therefore for that reason, it's got number 3 on this list, even at a little bit more of an expensive price point than I would personally like, but it's still very solid. Now, talking about discontinued cases, they are one of the most loved genres, especially over the past couple of months. People are really into the fact that obviously there is no more supply coming in, and when we're talking about this, we're mainly focusing in on the big 3, Shattered Web, Broken Fang, and Riptide. The truth is, for me personally, personally, there's a little bit too much of a price point for there that I think you're losing a little bit with the opportunity cost. Obviously, these cases long term are going to see some pretty decent growth, but the thing is, I think a lot of them have already seen that growth. I definitely think if you're looking for a super safe investment, these could offer a potential outpost, but for me, they're a little bit too expensive for what they're offering right now that I don't think they're absolutely crazy in the returns percentage wise. Number 2 on my list is a very clear outcome, and that's going to be the Danger Zone case. The Danger Zone case is one of the most solid investments I think you can make right now. The problem is it's a little bit expensive, especially for one of these cheaper rare cases. If you want to talk about everything the Danger Zone offers, it's one of the best. The unboxing number is consistently near the top for these cheaper rare cases, and the best part about it is the supply on this thing isn't like absolutely massive. Obviously, it's still quite heavy because it is a cheaper rare case and they're not discontinued or anything like that, but the Danger Zone case offers a very solid selection of knives and skins alike. The growth on this thing has been absolutely amazing, but that's also a slight problem because it's a little bit more expensive than I would want to have for an investment like this. Obviously, it's a rare case and it's probably going to be going up long term even more, but right now it's still a little bit more expensive than I would personally want, but it's still long term a very solid investment. Here we've got 4 options depending on what you're looking for. If you're looking for butterfly knives, I would highly suggest you check out the Spectrum 2 case. It's in a very solid position. The price isn't too crazy like something like a breakout case, and you're going to be finding some relatively decent skins and knives inside of it depending on where you go. If you're looking a little bit more general knives, the Chroma 3 is going to be a very good option. Honestly, it almost made this list. It's a very good option for most people if you're looking for just general knives. The Chroma knives are always loved and the price point on this thing isn't too crazy high. If you're looking for emeralds, the Gammas are definitely going to be the way to go. A little bit expensive. The biggest problem that the Gammas have is the fact that they're going to grow in tandem together. Therefore, neither one is going to be making a ton of profit, but they are very solid options nonetheless. And finally, the Wildfire case is the perfect option if you're looking for a little bit more of the skins market. That AK fuel injector is always going to be one of the most in demand, and the skins inside of it outside of that are very solid options as well, and something I would highly suggest. Number 1 on my list is going to be a very clear favorite. That's going to be the Prisma 2. Now, obviously, you could go for the Prisma 1 or the Prisma 2. Relatively speaking, they are both in a very similar ball field, but the Prisma 2 edges it out slightly for a couple different things. First up, I found the potential supply to be slightly lower, but more so, the Prisma 2 has always been a little bit higher, the unboxing numbers, and right now it's actually a little bit of a cheaper price point to get than the Prisma 1. Both of these are very solid options, and most likely they're going to grow in tandem together like we just talked about for the Gamma cases, but I think they're both very solid options. Prisma 2 just sneaks it out slightly in the current market, and when we talk about everything going on with the Prisma cases, the Prisma 2 has been a very solid option. Unboxing numbers has been absolutely insane for this case, along with the Prisma 1, obviously, of course, and when we're talking about the items inside of these cases, they are relatively demanded. Obviously, they're not the most demanded, but they're solid options, and obviously, at the end of the day, people are going to keep on unboxing these numbers in significant numbers, and therefore, I think it's a very good option if you're looking for something that's going to grow long term. That's all I got. I want to thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day.